Camera rolling.
Let me know when.
You go ahead.
We standing downtown Montgomery at Court Square in front of the fountain. The sign at the fountain tell you who designed the fountain, when the fountain was designed. This is Selma the Montgomery Trail that Dr. King them took. The backside tell you this is where the two cities met before Montgomery become Montgomery. This initially was the orange city.
When you say two cities, what two cities you talking about?
You had New Philadelphia and East Alabama. We had a brigadier general from the state of Alabama killed in the Revolutionary War at County. Richard Montgomery, they combined the two cities and named them after him. The lady on top of the fountain, you all will think she'll face up Dexter Avenue to the Capitol. Reason being she faced down Commerce Street to the river. That is how they marched slaves up on top of ground and underground. There were 4 major tunnels ran from the river. One to the fountain, one to the building on the corner, one to the Capitol.
Tell them why they had the tunnels underground.
They had the tunnels underground because when the slaves came over from Africa, you had a lot of them coming out the jungle. They still were wild. And if they would have brought them up on top of ground, they were scared that they'll get loose and try to run away from them. So they put the tunnels underground to keep them contained.
And also so they ain't got to look at the evil that they doing.
True. The second level is how they position slaves when they got them up here. Initially, they'll have them standing from 12 to 15 hours a day, not feeding them, giving them water. They look to sick and on the nerve. Across the street at in front of the bank, the sign can tell the cost of a slave being $1,500. By them looking unhealthy, that knocked it down to 5 or 3. The third level is called the nail position. There was over 1,200 slaves killed here throughout the whole slave area. Some for being rebellious, some for trying to escape, some for putting intimidation in the new slaves. Stones back there behind us, they came on the slave ship with big, massive balancing blocks of blue steel.
Stones?
Yes. The Winter Building there is where the very first teletype come during the Civil War era from General Stonewall Jackson for the South to attack Fort Sumter in South Carolina. Second floor, left-hand corner. Over 2,500 slaves was hung on top of it.
The two buildings?
Yes.
This building right here?
That one right there.
Winter Building?
The Winter Building. The 2 buildings to the bottom of the fountain hill was not here. We had Channel 12 News up top, Mike Bloomberg, when he ran for president on a sewing factory. There's where slaves had to go pick up their compensation. When I mean that, it was never money. It was always food or grain. They said if you paid a slave in money, he or she would buy their own freedom. The Brown Marble Stone of the bank, law firm, insurance firm, top 2 floors of the Federal Marshal. That was the slaveholders by the Colonial Hotel as well, where General Jackson initially put the teletype on paper, had it escorted to the Winter Building. The railroad tracks there, when they would bring slaves up on the train from the river, they would dock them there. The slaves that was up on the train, they would have the whites on the ground. Whatever white will reach up on the train and pull a slave off, that's actually what slaves got their last name from whatever white pulled them off the train.
So that river, the river boat out there, was that the same river boat that that was not?
No, that was not it.
Okay.
That's the Harriet II.
Okay.
They just brought that here maybe 4.5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
The building there always was a bank. The park there, it's got 2 histories. When a person came up to purchase slaves, have fruit, vegetable, and livestock to market off, there's where they did it. In front of this car right here, this orange or whatever it is, there's a square with a maple leaf on it. That's actually where Miss Rosa Parks started the Montgomery bus boycott.
Maple leaf?
Maple leaf.
Maple leaf, okay.
There's where Miss Parks started the Montgomery bus boycott, December 1st, 1955, right there. The building here, this was the only bank downtown Montgomery funded the Confederacy War until it went bankrupt. Then it was bought out by Klein & Son, turned to a jewelry store. Now Judge Roy Moore on it. Judge Roy Moore is the judge here in Montgomery, refused to take the 10 Commandments out the courtroom and was disbarred. The red brick wall right there where the people are coming out is where the Montgomery Fair said what Miss Rosa.
Talking about that brick wall right there where they walking past now?
Yes, that's what the Montgomery Fair said. The right-hand corner up that, the red light, is the Irish Pub. We all know they say John Webb Booth assassinated President Lincoln. Booth was an actor. The Irish Pub was a theater back in the day. That's actually where Booth's last performance was before he allegedly went off and assassinated President Lincoln. This is also the Selma Montgomery Trail that Dr. King them took. From the Edmund Pettus Bridge to the footsteps of the Capitol, it was a period of 3 days that they marched for 54 miles to get to Montgomery.
Hey, can you make sure you're being heard in that camera when you're talking? Or you might even want to put it on too while you're talking. It picks up very well.
The statue of Miss Parks right there, it will put up the 1st of December for the anniversary of the Montgomery bus boycott. There are 4 names so that were very key points in the bus boycott. You got Claudette Coben, who was the very first female to refuse to give up her seat on the bus here. The 15-year-old high school dropout that was pregnant. You got Browder, who initiated the lawsuit against Gale and the Montgomery public bus system. And you have Smith and McDonald following. Through history, we all were taught Miss Parks was arrested for refusing to give up her seat on the bus. That was absolutely not true. When Miss Parks was arrested December 1st in front of the Rosa Parks Museum, she actually was arrested for disorderly conduct. By her being arrested for disorderly conduct, she could not protest the segregation lawsuit. The marker in front of Miss Parks have 2 things wrong. It say the bus boycott lasted for 381 days and the bus stop is 2 blocks away. The sign here, the backside of it, tell about the bus boycott. The day Miss Parks was arrested, December 1st, 1955. December 5th, 1955 is the day that all blacks started boycotting the bus. The sign tell you the bus boycott lasted for exactly 1 year before the Supreme Court made its ruling. This 2020 a leap year. When the bus boycott started, it was a leap year too. The one in front of Miss Parks is 1 day off. It should have been 382. The backside of the sign tell Miss Parks' life story. She was born February 4th, 1913 in Tuskegee, Alabama. It also tells Miss Parks moved from Tuskegee to Pine Level, Alabama. It tells about her schooling. Her going to the elementary school, Mrs. White School for Girls from the age of 11 until she graduated. Her getting her diploma from Alabama State Teachers College. When she got married in 1932, her being the mother of the Civil Rights Movement, as well as a member of the NAACP and her AKA. When she moved to Detroit in 1957.
This video is separate from the video we was doing earlier, right?
Cut on one cut.
I'm just making sure because I got to send them up. So I don't wanna...
When she moved to Detroit in 1957, when she became an honorary member of the AKA in 1988, and when she was inducted into the Alabama Women's Hall of Fame in 2008. It's what I do. It's what I do.
Hey, I'm sorry, Christ.
That courthouse down there. I mean,
The Capitol. That
Capitol.
used to be Goat Hill back in the day.
Is that where they sold slaves at too?
No. It was 2 places that they auctioned off slaves. They auctioned them off here and where the Biscuit Stadium is at. That also was the slave auctioning block.
The stadium, is that the one by the river?
No, the stadium sit back over here.
Okay.
Because of course they would want to hold their Capitol building with some type of class
Yes.
and dignity. They figured you handle the slave business down in the market,
Yes.
away from them. But however, it overlooks the fucking whole
It overlooks
area,
the whole city
Yeah.
and it overlooks the slave market
which
here.
is why they put it right here.
Well, they initially wanted to put the Capitol over here, but they had the very first Confederate White House sitting over here. So that was more space up there. So when they moved the Capitol, this is the 3rd Capitol for the state of Alabama. It was in Huntsville, from Huntsville to Tuscaloosa, from Tuscaloosa to Montgomery. So that was more space to put it up there. So they put it up there, really to oversee the city of Montgomery.
That's what I'm saying. That spot right there
Yeah.
oversees this whole thing for a reason.
Yes, yes,
Because they basically saying this is what we built on.
yes. A lot of deep history here, man. A lot of deep history.
I smell the blood in the soil. I appreciate that, man.
Hey, man, no problem. Where
Hey,
y'all
you
brothers
said-
from?
From Birmingham, man.
Oh, y'all from there?
From Atlanta. From Atlanta.
You born in Birmingham? Who was the best mayor Birmingham ever had?
Aaron Lake.
Who you say?
Shit, I don't know. I heard Langford, I heard Bell. I don't know.
I don't like now one of them.
Who you like?
Arrington.
Arrington was like, I was young when Arrington was there. I was
Richard Arrington was the very first black mayor of Birmingham, as well the longest running mayor in Birmingham
There's a
history.
street named after him, too.
And that's my uncle. My real name is Eddie Arrington. Everybody called me Foot though. That's my uncle.
Hey, you said this right here was 3 levels representing the slave location.
Yes. So everything slaves went through here, them 3 layers represented it. The lady on top, facing the river, the way they marched slaves up on top of ground and underground. The second layer, the way they got the slaves positioned, is the way that they positioned slaves up there from initially having them standing from anywhere from 12 to 15 hours a day, not feeding, giving them water. They looked real sick and on the nerve. The third level, them up there praying, that's for the 1,200 slaves that was killed here. Some for being rebellious, some for trying to escape, some for putting intimidation on the new slaves. Yeah. So what the documentary is gonna be?
I heard it. It ain't gonna be no